All right, I guess we're live. Well, sorry, that took a minute. I just wanted to note some changes I've made to the sander cart. It's not a finished piece per se, in that I've not taken the time to make drawer covers or apply finish to it or anything like that, but it's a piece of shop furniture. It's a very helpful piece of shop furniture, and it's fully functional. So, did a couple things. First of all, I took that 7-inch grinder that was hanging right there and took it off and decided the grinder doesn't have enough room here to live. So I moved it. I took the RES 115 and moved it down there. It used to be in this spot. And this spot has been taken over by the, let me get the model. Damn, this thing does not autofocus when it's doing live. It's the Pro 5 Limited. That's the new special edition, super cheap one that Festool came out with. That's supposed to be more powerful than the older ETS 125. My initial reaction is going to be in another video I do, but now let me keep talking about the cart. So, what I've done is I've taken this power strip that used to just flop around here, and it's been permanently mounted so it doesn't move. It's just got the one cord there, and that's a Festool cord. That the Festool cord and the Festool hose, they go and wrap around the back. I'll show you that. So they just go down the back of this center carriage. And the center carriage is an open frame. It's got two drawers in the bottom, but then it's just open here where the levels go in. So I keep the cord for the RES 115 here, because for some reason the RES 115 is hardwired, unlike every other Festool sander. But here we go, the Festool cord and the vacuum hose run right here down the middle. And again, they plug into my vacuum over here. That's a CT22 underneath all that crap. So they come out, and then here they're connected to the new Pro 5, but I take the cord and the hose and I swap them among all the different sanders. So when I'm working at the bench there, I can quickly turn around and grab a different sander off. And the whole thing is on wheels, and it moves around the shop as it needs to, and I move the vacuum along with it as I need to. What it has here is my full complement of Festool sanders. I don't have any of the new brushless ones, but there's the Random Orbits and the Random Orbit, and the Rotex and this bad boy that's really a grinder, but it's so much fun to use. So down here, I organize these drawers a bit more. So this drawer is all 6-inch paper, and initially, for whatever reason, I only had the high grits of 6-inch because for real finishing work, but the 6-inch have more power than the 5-inch, so I wanted to be able to start at the lower grits with the 6-inch also. So I've just stocked up a little bit on this. I didn't used to have these low grit papers. It's got the 80, 120, 180, and 220, just a normal standard sanding regimen I'd go through on most projects, so I can do it all in 6-inch if I need to. This middle drawer is a hodgepodge. I've got the interface discs, they call them. You put this in between the sanding disc and the sander, and it allows you to do curves phenomenally. They're absolutely great. You see, I have the 5-inch one, the 6-inch one, that's the 4 or 3.5-inch one, whatever the little Rotex is. They're really handy. I've got an extra 6-inch because my 6-inch is beginning to tear apart. There is a polishing disc, and here are the different platens for the different ones. So that's the soft for the small Rotex, and then I've got the full set of them for the bigger Rotex. I like to write on the side, like that's the polishing platen. I like to write on the side what it is. It makes it a lot easier to figure out. And if you're not going to get into curves, you don't necessarily need to pick up all the platens, but the platens are really helpful if you're doing curved work. The hard ones allow you to carve, and the soft ones allow you to maintain the shape while sanding it. The interface pads are also great for that. Here I've got square paper for this little bad boy I keep tucked back here in the corner. This is the linear sander. It just sands in and out in a straight line, and you can use, let me tuck it in here, you can use pieces like this, and the sandpaper fits inside that thing, and you can sand curves with it pretty nicely. It's a pretty specialized thing. If I wasn't doing a lot of curved work, I would not own it, but for what it does it very well. And here's the different head for the small little baby Rotex. So that's in the middle drawer, and 50 grit in 5-inch, because I didn't have a good place to put it, so I put it here. As we come up here, this is the 5-inch paper in this rack. This is I don't know if they still do, but I know there was a time you could buy a sustainer with the different grits of 5-inch paper. And I've just continued to use the sustainer, and you'll see I have different amounts, and I got these are the garnet. These came as samples with that little mini one right there. So the regular ones I use are the Reuben and the Reuben 2. And this will go through, I think it's 80, 120, 180, 220, 320. And then over here, this is the 125, which is for maybe the little Rotex. Yeah, that's the little Rotex because it's got holes. So these are for the little Rotex. And then these pads here, this is for the RO115. This one, because this one doesn't have any holes. But again, think of this as a grinder. Don't do sanding with it. It's for shaping. And you get these really coarse grit papers. What is this? This is not labeled. I'm going to say it's probably 36 grit. And that's probably 60 grit, something like that. Even that's a bit fine for it. Right now, it's probably got... Can you see the stupid thing doesn't focus, but you can see how coarse that is, even out of focus. So that's these drawers. When I switch over to these drawers, we stick with the 90. Okay, this is the 90. This is the RO90. So this is, that 125 was the 5-inch ones. The 90 is the smaller one. This is all in metrics. So I've got the 90, an 80 grit, 120, 150, 180, 320, and 220. I can then take it up and polish it. And then here we've got the crazy grits, 900, 400, 400, 1,000, 800. And back here, these are Abranet discs in the 5-inch size and the Abranet interface pads because I'm not entirely Festool. So that's the sander cart. I'm going to back up so I can capture the whole thing. Just cleaned up, and that's all in it. And you'll see what has helped me organize it is I set the shelf up, and now this shelf has all the odd and high grits that I have in the 6-inch size. So this is all 6-inch. There's some Abranet, crazy Abranet, like what are we at? 2,000, 1,000, 4,000. And there we get 60 and 150, not particularly high grit, but just grits that I barely use. And 320, 400, another 400, and 500, and 500. Apparently I've duplicated myself a few times. Oh, that's 5-inch, that's why. This is 5-inch, 500 and 400 and 5-inch. That's why they double up. So, that is a brief summary of what I've done to reorganize the sanders. Even if you don't go Festool, you don't have to go Festool. They're nice. They're not the bee's knees. They're not perfect. There are problems with all of them, but they certainly get the job done. Clearly, I do like them. My big key would be to say, hook a vacuum up to whatever sander you use. It makes a world of difference. And no matter what brand it is, hang them like this. And this way, they're all easy to go. I mean, when this was all sustainers, it was such a pain in the ass to reach them all. And now I've got 8 Festool sanders hanging right there, all in easy reach, all accessible without having to open and close sustainers. So go for it. Build one of your own, put it on wheels, move it around the shop, and learn to enjoy sanding.